Hey, what's up people of YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Caught in the Storm. Today, we'll be talking about Super Mario Party, as the title implies, party game developed and published by the big video game mafia boss themselves, Nintendo. So that obviously means that we're in for a good time, right? Well, I hope so, because before we start, I just want to say that I have played Mario Party games in the past, but I've never really owned any of them, so I don't have that much knowledge on the series. So please forgive me if I get a couple of things wrong. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's start the show.
Ready? Yeah!
So I know what you're thinking. Story? In Mario Party? The fuck? And believe me, I had the same reaction. But worry not, viewer. This plot is not too crazy and keeps things simple. It was a beautiful day in the Mushroom Kingdom, and Mario and the gang were out enjoying the sunlight and literally arguing over who has the biggest ego. Oh, I'm sorry, who is the superstar? It's Luigi, by the way. When Mario proposes that the only way for them to see who is the real superstar is with a party. A Mario Party? Seriously, that's it. And if you ask me, I think it's pretty cool to have these Mario spin-off games with a story. Though it really doesn't add much to the overall experience of the game, it's just pretty cool to see how these events go down. I mean, we have a story in Mario Tennis Aces, and we have a story in this game. Now we wait for Mario Kart 9 to have a story involving space pigs or aliens trying to turn the Mushroom Kingdom into a parking lot or something.
Ready? Yeah!
Alright, so Super Mario Party has 5 different game modes, and we're gonna go over each one individually as to keep things organized. Got it? Good. Starting off with the game mode most people are going to play. Mario Party is exactly what you expect it to be. The game is back to the traditional Mario Party format and not that weird kart stuff. So rejoice, old Mario Party fans! But just because we're going back to familiar styles doesn't mean that everything's back to the good old days, because woohoo baby! Super Mario Party does many things right and many things poorly. What Super Mario Party does right is bringing back some old mechanics like ally spaces from Star Rush, and if you don't know what the hell an ally space is, well, when you land on this space, a random character comes to your aid and pledges their allegiance to you, and when you get an ally, you get their personal dice, something that we'll go into in a few, don't worry about it. And whenever you roll a die, they roll a die too to help increase the number of spaces that you move. Up to 4 allies can be recruited. Trying to recruit any more will have you replace someone in your party. There are even some mini games where having allies is an advantage because you have more lives, but they can also be a disadvantage because there's more of a liability to multitask all these characters and Okay, so I briefly mentioned a while ago personal dice. So what is that? Well, it's another mechanic taken from Star Rush, and it adds a very interesting spin to the game in my opinion. Essentially, it's another dice that you can use, and what you're able to roll is character specific. For instance, Luigi's dice only lets him roll either a 1, 5, 6, or a 7, and Wario's die lets him roll a 6 or lose 2 coins. He literally has a 67% chance to roll a 6, and if you're thinking, man, that's kind of broken, guess what? You're right. I think this is a cool mechanic, just not properly balanced. Because why even bother with certain characters who have a bad personal dice like Donkey Kong? I mean, just look at this! Why? Why would you ever pick Donkey Kong when you could use Wario and constantly have a high chance to roll a 6 and do victory laps around the map? If maybe some characters didn't have an extremely high chance to roll high numbers, then it would probably be more balanced. But when you have mechanics like this one, some characters having better tools than others is just a given. Besides those 2 things that I mentioned, Mario Party is exactly how you expect it to be. Collect coins, buy things, win mini games, get stars, lose friendships, you know, Mario Party things. Now, what Super Mario Party does poorly is 1, the number of boards, and 2, how the boards are kind of bland. There are only 4 boards, and they're all small and really don't have much going for them. Like, look at an old Mario Party map and then look at a Super Mario Party map. Like, it's completely night and day. When I think Mario Party maps, I see maps where the very gimmick of the map is like a mini game in itself. But in Super Mario Party, that really just isn't the case. There isn't much going on in these maps. It's just like, hey, there's the star. Now go get the star. Really, The only map with a somewhat interesting gimmick is Kamek's Tantalizing Tower, where the main gimmick is that the price of the star can inflate or deflate every single time someone gets on a star or lands on the event space. Plus there's this thwomp that will let you take a shortcut to the star, but the price of this shortcut goes up every single time someone uses it. I know it's not much, but hey, it's something. Plus, I really wish that maybe down the line they'll add maps as free DLC. I know DLC is like bad for some people, but if it's free DLC and they're just adding maps and it's like a better thought out maps, then hey, I'm down for it, you know. DLC maps doesn't seem like a too bad idea, but like right now the full package is just 4 little maps. I really don't see that as good. Like, why, Nintendo? Why? Minigames are also pretty fun. I haven't mentioned this yet, but in Super Mario Party, you use a single Joy-Con, and the minigames will have you either using the Joy-Con vertically or horizontally, and can use motion controls, which I gotta say are quite good, though there are some times where the calibration is just wonky and can just mess you up at certain minigames. I'm sorry, Ramsey, I'm sorry! Next game mode is River Survival, which is a co-op based minigame where you and your friends are on this raft and just paddle your way to the end under a certain time limit. But there are many obstacles along the way that you must avoid, such as rocks and cheeps. But you can extend your time limit by running into these balloons, which triggers a minigame where you all work together. Completing the minigame will give you time based on how good you do in the minigame. So if your friend starts slacking, you know what has to be done. There are even multiple branching pathways that add different obstacles, both good and bad, to the mix, which makes multiple playthroughs more interesting. This game mode is actually one of my favorites because it encourages communication and working together in order to ensure a smooth and good run. But things can get hectic and hilarity ensues. Plus, it's the game mode that is least likely to end in broken friendships. Speaking of good communication and working together, this segues perfectly into my favorite game mode, Partner Party. One thing that you will immediately notice is that on the board there is very little spaces, no road, no little arrow pointing you where you can go, and everyone has been put into 2 teams. This game mode plays exactly like Mario Party, except that you are freely able to move around the map in any direction, and the number of spaces you can move is the sum of you and your partner's role. Allies are still in this game mode but are scattered around the map, and you have to run into them in order to recruit them. So you already know, if Wario spawns in, you make a beeline for that behind. The amount of spaces you can move is actually quite redonk, considering that you have 2 people rolling in addition to your allies roll. Oh, by the way, each partner can carry 4 allies, so hypothetically you can have a goddamn mini army helping you roll. Plus, if you add items to the mix, whew, have fun doing your lap around the map. The objections in this game mode is pretty much the same thing as they are in Mario Party. You know, collect coins, buy things, win minigames, get stars, lose friendships, you know, Mario Party things. Except now, you have a partner helping you. The last game mode is Sound Survival. It's a gauntlet of rhythm-based minigames where you all fight for the highest score. I mean, hey, it's cute, it's fun for like maybe one thing. That's it. There really isn't much to it. Plus, there's an online mode, but it's just minigames. No board. Nintendo kind of dropped the ball on that one. Like, I understand maybe it isn't a good idea to have the board game mode online with randoms, but maybe if you could have done it with just people on your friends list, then maybe it would have been a good inclusion. But right now, it's just wasted potential.
Ready? Yeah.
Alright, so I think that the UI of Super Mario Party is lacking. It doesn't have the same charm that older titles had, though the sleek minimalistic design that they have going on isn't quite bad. I think it looks nice as its own thing, but nothing about it has that good old Nintendo charm. Speaking of charm, graphics have none. I know that in every game Nintendo can't flex those graphics muscles they have, but still Super Mario Party looks somewhat bland in my opinion, though that doesn't affect gameplay that much. The music is also kind of bland, with no tracks really sticking to me. It just feels like generic, happy, fun time music, which isn't bad because graphics and music don't really make or break a game. the gameplay does. And Super Mario Party's gameplay is actually quite solid. All in all, I think Super Mario Party is the perfect game for a quick little get-together. I feel a lot of people give this game flack because the boards are not as big or as crazy as they were before, or the game modes weren't as they were before, but they forget that the Switch is meant to be a handheld and home console hybrid, so Super Mario Party was made with that mentality in mind. Everything in this game feels like it was meant to be quicker and faster, so you can have more games with friends while still having that Mario Party vibe that we all know and love. I really hope that people don't get the idea that I hate this game or I think the game is not worth your time, because that's not the case. Super Mario Party is fun. It brings out that little kid in me whenever I play with friends. We pop on the Switch, we all play Super Mario Party, and we all have fun. And isn't that what Mario Party is all about? So if you have a Nintendo Switch and constantly have get-togethers with friends, families, or just love being the life of a party, do yourself a favor and go try Super Mario Party. Lady, stop it. Stop it. Listen, I have to do this thing, okay? So let me do it. So I can see that you made it to the end of the video, and I just want to say thank you for watching. As you can see, I've kind of made it big right now, so I really don't need your help for anything. So you're more than free to click out the video. But wait, before you guys do that, let me I need you guys to see this, right? I'm going all in on Black 2. Let's do this. Oh, would you look at that? I don't really have anybody to blame but myself for this, huh? If you guys enjoyed the video, please comment, like, subscribe. You guys know the thing.